Good morning, grade 6. Welcome to our math class. Are you ready for new lessons? Yes, that's great. Now let's get started. Number 1. Remove 6 matches to make 10. Go. Let us start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now it's 10. Did you guess it right? That's great. Number 2. What can be seen once in a minute, twice in a moment, and never in 1,000 years? Go. And the answer is the letter M. Did you get the same answer? That's great. Now get your book. We will have pages 55 to 57. Divide with decimals. Tommy is training for a triathlon. In a triathlon, athletes compete in 3 events: swimming, cycling, and running. She cycled 66.5 miles in 3.5 hours. If she cycled at a constant speed, how far did she cycle in 1 hour? To solve the problem, we need to divide 66.5 by 3.5. So we will follow the same format, just like how we divide whole numbers. So it is 66.5 inside because it's the dividend, and the divisor, which is 3.5, should be outside. Now remember, we can only divide if our divisor is a whole number. So you have to check your divisor. This one is not a whole number, it is a decimal. So think how you can make it a whole number. You're right. We need to multiply this by 10. Multiplying this by 10 will make it 35, which is a whole number. And number 2, remember that whatever you do with the divisor, you must do it with the dividend also. Since we multiplied the divisor by 10, that means we also need to multiply the dividend by 10. Now, multiplying the divisor by 10 makes it 35, or the decimal point is moved to the right. It's at the end of 5 now. So, we will do the same thing with our dividend. We will move ones to the right also because we do it also with our divisor. Now we have here 665. So, our number now is 665 divided by 35. And then we will just divide it just like how we divide whole numbers. In this case, we'll start with 66. 66 divided by 35 is 1. So, since we use 66, the last digit is this 6. So, we'll write 1 there, up. And then 1 times 35 is 35. Then subtract. 6 minus 5 is 1. 6 minus 3 is 3. Then we need to bring down 5. Now we have 315. 315 divided by 35 is 9. And 9 times 35 is 315. In this case, we don't have a remainder. That is 0. So, after we move the decimal point on this part, then our decimal point should be on this part also. And it is at the end of our quotient. So, we have now a whole number quotient. And 66.5 divided by 3.5 is 19. So, again, you have to look first at your divisor. See if you need to move the decimal point. You have to move the decimal point at the end to make it a whole number. And to do that, you have to multiply it by the power of 10. In this case, we only need to move it once to the right, that means we just multiplied it by 10. And whatever you do with the divisor, you must do it also with the dividend. Now let us divide 17.25 by 5.75. Again, the first thing to do is to look at the divisor. Now as you can see, we have 2 decimal places in our divisor. That means we need to move our decimal point 2 places to the right. And to do that, we need to multiply it by 100. So moving it 2 places to the right makes it 575. Then the next thing that you need to remember is whatever you do with the divisor, do it with your dividend also. We moved here 2 places to the right, so we also need to move here 2 places to the right. That's 1, 2. Now our point is there. You can just align the decimal point there, just to see where your decimal point is in your quotient. Now, we have 1,725 divided by 575, and that is equal to 3. 3 times 575 is 1,725, and that will give us 0. So, that means our quotient is 3 since it is before the decimal point. Now, let us see if our answer is correct. So, we will follow the same thing to check. You have to multiply the divisor by the quotient. So, we will use the original divisor, that is 5.75. Multiply it by 3. And see if we will get the dividend as the answer. So, 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 7 is 21. Plus 1 is 22. And 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Count the number of decimal places. We have 1, 2. So that means in the product, we should have 2 decimal places also. That makes it 17.25, which is the same as our original dividend. Now let us try this one. We have 37.8 divided by 0.14. So check your divisor first. So we need to move 2 places to the right. Whatever you do with the divisor, do it with your dividend. Move 2 places to the right. But, oh, we only have 1. What should we do now? That's good. We need to add 0. We should not stop there because remember, whatever you do with the divisor, do it with your dividend. We moved here 2 places to the right. We need to move here 2 places to the right. So if it happens, you just add 0. So our decimal point is there now. Then we can divide. We now have 3,780 divided by 14. So we will start with 37. 37 divided by 14 is 2. 2 times 14 is 28. And then subtract. 7 minus 8, that cannot be. So we borrow from 3. This will be 17 minus 8 is 9. Bring down 8. 98 divided by 14 is 7. 7 times 14 is 98. And 98 minus 98 is 0. But that doesn't mean that we should stop there. Because remember, we still have 1 0 to bring down. So you need to continue dividing. That will give you 0 divided by 14 is 0. And 0 times 14 is 0. So from this, 0 minus 0, that concludes your division problem. So the quotient is 270. Let's go over this again. We have 2 decimal places in our divisor. So we moved 2 places to the right to make it a whole number. And since we moved 2 places to the right in our divisor, we need to do the same in our dividend. We also need to move 2 places to the right. For your classwork, do page 57, numbers 5 to 7. For your homework, please do page 59, numbers 2 to 7. I hope you had fun learning. See you again next time.
Mathematics, mathematics, I love math, I love math. It is so exciting, very interesting. I love math, I love math.